Hello, my name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everybody. I'm so excited to have y'all back here together again. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another Pixar Disney ranking, because this past weekend, Lightyear came out. And so that kind of basically makes Lightyear a Toy Story spin-off of the Buzz Lightyear character. So today, I'm going to stop and rank all 6 Toy Story movies, plus the 2 Buzz Lightyear spin-offs, from the worst to the best. Let's go ahead and get started. And before I do get started, I just gotta say, the movie that comes in last place, all these movies are actually really good. Even Lightyear, as well as the Buzz Lightyear Star Command TV show movie came out, all of them are good. So if one is at the bottom, that doesn't mean I don't like it. I just like the other ones better, though I might have issues with it though. So for me, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's in last place. I still like this movie. Granted, the new Lightyear movie is obviously better because it's not in last place. But I think it offers something cool for the little spin-off as one of the first spin-offs of this franchise. We got Tim Allen playing Buzz Lightyear in this film from the original films. So that's awesome. The way that they actually I think the way they actually developed this story of him not wanting to have partners, I guess you could say that is part of the story of what made Lightyear so cool and the theme about that movie. And the way that, and I like the other side characters that they create. And I guess you could say that all these side characters are basically like Lightyear's team in it, and except it's not the same people. Like, Mira is basically Izzy. The robot guy is basically the guy that's played by Taika Waititi. And the big guy is probably the old woman, and she's kind of big. But except this guy's an alien and not a male, and not a lady. And I actually like that it explores space and, like, other, like, Star Command stuff, rather than, like, just staying on one planet. And then, of course, Zurg is, of course, menacing. And it just feels like a Buzz Lightyear movie that is meant for this. However, I wasn't the biggest fan of the way they designed these characters. The way that they designed Buzz Lightyear's suit and everything just looks terrible. Just like the way his hips work, the way his things work. Like, it doesn't look like a muscle. It doesn't look like muscles. It doesn't look like you can fight in it. Granted, when he gets punched, it looks cool. And even when I saw, like, theories about the show, and I'm like, this is not the right Buzz Lightyear. He's not not a human in this. He's an actual, like, alien, except that purple stuff on his head is not a snood. It's like part of him. And, like, he has human hands and everything, but, like, he's an actual alien born in space, just like all these other people. And I'm like, what? But Buzz Lightyear's a human. He looks like a human, and so do all of you. So how could you do all that? And I'm glad that this movie's not canon, though I would like to see if these other characters would come in and join Buzz's team. I'm not sure, because I don't think it would be possible, because all the characters are basically human. But overall, the movie's okay. It's a fine little spin-off from Toy Story, but not the best one. So the newly released Pixar Toy Story spin-off I think is pretty good. Of course, it focuses on the Buzz Lightyear character pretty right, as it basically deals with him. The whole movie is him trying to get everybody home, and that's an interesting story to come up with this character. Once again, the side characters are great, especially like Socks, the robot cat. I thought he stole all the scenes. Even the little rookies, I thought were pretty cool. The animation is simply great. The action sequences are great. And the Buzz Lightyear moments from the callbacks to the past Toy Story films, I thought were amazing. Whether he's in the ship, he ejects himself from the seat and wings fly out, and he's like, "Not today, Zurg." I literally clapped in the theater when I saw that. However, there are issues though. I wasn't the biggest fan of the villain reveal with Zurg, as he's basically a future version of Buzz, instead of Buzz's father. If he was Buzz's father, it would have been a very cool little turn and actually made for a very iconic plot line for the Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker plotline in Empire Strikes Back. So that would have been really cool if they actually did something like that. And I'm kind of disappointed in the way they did this new version of Buzz Lightyear with his suit, that he has no laser. The only really tech he has is that giant sword and the gun, and he also doesn't have wings. He got wings and a laser from the room, and he got the wings from the ejection seat. Like, there's like the red button on his suit is a surrender pull string. So I'm like, I mean, I'm glad that he got the new suit at the end, the toy accurate suit, but I mean, it just ruined this established character. But I get it. I get why they had to do that, because it's a different version of Buzz Lightyear. But overall, I still really enjoyed the movie, and even though it's in number 5, I still like it. It's not just me. I just like the other Toy Story movies way better. Now, if Lightyear was the better Buzz Lightyear movie, like the better action space adventure, this is an even better way to tell the Buzz Lightyear stuff. Of course, you get the opening sequence where you basically get the entrance of Rex playing the Buzz Lightyear game, and you see like this whole scene of him flying through space and him flying into this planet, and I'm like, the score in it is just so amazing. Him fighting Zurg, him having the blue utility belt, all the stuff with him, and even the little joke that Zurg is his father, a great joke to Empire Strikes Back. All that was really cool. And so I would say that Buzz is probably the standout of this film. Like, one of the little jokes in the film, one of the little adventures that you have in here, that's one of my favorite parts. But beyond that, as a sequel to Toy Story, it explores all these great themes of childhood and nostalgia. The stuff with Jessie, I think is heartbreaking, where it creates a theme where she's like, you'll never forget kids, but they'll forget you. And that's very emotional in the way they told that. And the fact that they actually told us, it made it even more emotional. And even the other plot line where he can't stop Andy from growing up, but he wouldn't miss it for the world. Beyond that, the characters are all likable. Woody's Roundup song is great. All the little details and little stuff that they put in here in the adventures, I thought was great. Though it does do a little bit too much, I still had a lot of fun with everything that this movie offered. Now, when I first heard that they were making a Toy Story 4, I was like, let's go! I'm ready for a Toy Story in the present day. I'm ready to see how Woody and Buzz Lightyear are going to be doing this. What's going to happen, especially now that Bonnie and Andy's toys are coming together. How are they going to interact more? And technically, when I first watched it, I was like, that's not exactly what this is. But at the same time, it took me a couple of rewatches to actually really appreciate this movie. And granted, and the reason why it took me a few rewatches is because there's a lot that this movie does. Like, it does so many, the story literally begins with Forky getting lost from the group and wanting to get lost. But then you get into Bo Peep and meet all these other characters and all this other stuff, and you meet Gabby, and I'm like, there's so much going on in this movie. How are you going to handle all this? And when you watch the movie, everything you actually kind of care about. Like with Woody's arc, he has this arc of that he's made to help a child. And so when he leaves at the end, it's a great honor that he leaves and he can help all the other kids around the world. Though he can help, I guess, the kids that go to the carnival. He can help spread joy to the kids at the carnival. And also beyond that, it also just explores what a lost toy with and bringing back Bo Peep, which I thought was really cool, especially in that opening sequence where she has to go, where she gets taken away from Molly. And even exploring all these different types of toys in the antique store and giving all these references to Disney stuff, I thought was great. And even the new characters like Giggle McDimples, Duke Kaboom, But Bunny and Ducky, I thought were really good. Even Forky was a nice addition. Gabby's probably one of our best Toy Story villains / Pixar villains. So there's a lot of great stuff, and also the animation is also great. The return to some of the classic Toy Story scores is absolutely great. However, this movie does a lot to really tell a great story, but at the same time, I like it does a little bit too much at times, where I feel like, I mean, obviously I'm satisfied with everything that they do. I'm enjoying everything that they did in this film. They just do too much of it, and then also they kind of don't really do the best with Buzz Lightyear in this film. I mean, he has that one cool scene where they bring back the music from Toy Story 2, and he uses the flying roller coaster and shoots him into the air, and he pulls out his wings and he flies. But there's not much because they just make him such a stupid character, and I'm like, what exactly are you trying to do with him? Like, what are you doing? But other than that, this movie's really good, and I actually have learned to love it. So this is one of the classic films, the one that started this franchise, the one that made the idea of a Buzz Lightyear movie possible. This is the definitive one of the great movies of all time, as it told a story about toys coming to life, and it did it in style, where all the characters are likable. They're played by likable actors and actresses, but at the same time, you also give these characters specific arcs for the story. And it's really interesting, and especially when you introduce the Buzz Lightyear character, I think it's just absolutely amazing, especially when he thinks that Andy's room is a planet, and all this other stuff is great. And both of these characters have great chemistry with one another. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen are absolutely amazing in these roles. What else is there? The score from it is absolutely fantastic. It may not be as flashy as some of the later Pixar films and Toy Story films, but it is certainly one of the best Toy Story films of today. This is the definitive best Toy Story sequel, where it takes place years after Andy has completed college. He has completed high school. And now he's completed high school, he's completed all the school, and he's finally going to college, and it brings this other theme where, whether it's at college or in the attic, their job is to be there for Andy. It brings back that theme. No matter what, you gotta be there for your kid, and I love that theme so much, and it just creates an impact on me, and it's just throughout the entire movie, you're just on the edge of your seat. It's a menacing villain. There's lots of great iconic scenes that close out the franchise really well, especially when you get to the scene where you think that the toys are literally about to die, and then they get saved by the 3 aliens, and I'm like, that's great payoff right there. Once again, I think the stuff with Buzz Lightyear in this film is actually pretty cool, especially when he turns into Spanish mode, and he actually does act like a space ranger. Though I wasn't the fan of that they turned him evil. That was very weird. I also, then of course when you get to the end, when Andy plays with his toys for the last time, I mean, the entire movie you're just going with these characters, and I'm like, I just love this movie so much. As you're going through this journey with these characters, as you explore it, like, it's so interesting, and I love it so much. So for me, Toy Story 3 is the best Toy Story movie for me, and that's why it's at number 1 on my Toy Story movie ranking. So that's my ranking of all 6 Toy Story films / the spin-offs. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff is in the about section over there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.